Pale Male, Citizen Hawk of New York City by Janet Schulman and illustrated by Milo So. A Borzoi book published by Alfred A. Knopf in 2008. This picture book is based on the true story of a red-tailed hawk that came to live in New York City. He was first spotted by Central Park birdwatchers in 1991. They named him Pale Male because his coloring was lighter than most hawks and he had a snowy white chest. People became even more fascinated with Pale Male when he found a mate and began trying to build a nest in the urban landscape. In 1993, after several other locations had failed, he chose the cornice above an upscale Fifth Avenue apartment building. A crowd developed in the park to watch the new lovebirds. The residents of the building were less impressed. Twice they removed the nest in Pale Male's history, and twice protesters thronged outside the building. News stations reported from all over the world, and emails and outrage reached the board of the Fifth Avenue apartment building. Finally, workers were sent to build an awning under the nest to catch the debris that the birds produced. One admirer of Pale Male quit his job and began filming the hawk and his companions over the years. This person was Frederick Lillian, who eventually created and directed a documentary about Pale Male. In one interview with ABC, the director explains the popularity and draw of Pale Male after he got an email from a soldier stationed in Iraq. Frederick told the reporter, "Then I start to understand that Pale Male was this refuge, that little pocket of fresh air that you need somewhere in your brain, where you can go to and you can feel in peace and relaxed. There's so many components to it. You have the rich, the poor, the underdog. It's little David against Goliath, and he survives. And now we have a whole dynasty of red-tails in New York City." Author Janet Schulman recounts the story of Pale Male and his growing urban family in a style that will be appropriate for 5th grade to. The beautiful watercolor illustrations by Milo So bring to life the beauty of the hawk and the characters of New York City. The author's note in the back of the book talks more about other animals that can be found in Central Park. At last count, Pale Male has 26 surviving chicks and has had 4 mates. Schulman writes, "Only when his mate was killed or seriously injured did he take a new mate." This book can be used in science classes to introduce topics like natural habitats, conservation, and other environmental issues. This book could also be used in English classes to inspire creative essay topics such as write about a time when you had to make a place for yourself in a different or new environment, or describe a strange or interesting phenomenon in your neighborhood or community, or invent a story of another animal making a home in the big city. What building would an elephant live in, or a panda? Pale Male, Citizen Hawk of New York City is a wonderful introduction to one bird's ability to adapt, and luckily for the residents of New York City and the world, Pale Male continues to survive in the big city.